What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jazzie Belle from Women in Hip Hop Podcast, and you are watching Hip Hop Weekly.
Okay, Hip Hop Weekly All Access. This is Brianna, and we're here live tonight with the one and only Jazzie Belle.
Yup. What's up?
Welcome to Atlanta. I mean, I know you already used to it, but welcome to Hip Hop Weekly.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. What's up? Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming through. Introduce yourself.
Well, like you said, your girl Jazzie Belle is in the building. The one and only. Isn't that how you introduced me?
Yes, I did.
I love that. So you already know what it is. Your girl TV, radio personality, and I'm here. I can't wait to kick it with you guys. So what's up?
Well, we do appreciate you for checking in and joining us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you just got a lot of things going on. What brings you to Atlanta this weekend? This week.
This week I'm here because, I'm always on the prowl to kick it with some of the most talented females in the hip-hop culture. I mean, I have my podcast, Women in Hip Hop, just in case the people out there listening don't know. So Women in Hip Hop Podcast, the focus is for me to shed light on the many talents and influences from women within the culture in hopes to inspire women everywhere to overcome adversity in any male-dominated field. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to scout out new talent, to get them on the podcast. And I'm also here to talk to some of the seasoned vets that's been doing their thing. So, that's why I'm here in the A. And I know hip-hop and Atlanta go hand in hand.
Right.
So, of course, I had to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, well, again, welcome. How long have you been in the industry, being a whole? So how did you get started? How did you get your start?
In the industry, as a whole, I started off doing urban modeling. And I was back in 2008, maybe 2008 is when I started doing the magazines, the Black Men's, the Smooth, and all that stuff. And I did that for a while, and I decided to retire my thong because I've always said, when I started doing urban modeling, it was a means of survival for me. I always knew that I wasn't meant to be there. I knew that that wasn't necessarily a goal for me. It was something, like I said, I fell into. I was like, you know what? I need to do something. I need to figure it out. I love this culture that I'm in. I've always had a big ass and a cute smile. Shout out to BBD. So I've always had that for me. So I said, you know what, let me try and see what's going on. And let me see if this can pay the bills for me. And it did not. But being the hustler that I am, being from Detroit, I said, I have to figure out how to make this lucrative for me. And then that's when I started to promote parties because people would hire me to host events. They would pay me here's $1,200 or $1,500. And I'm like, just to sit here and pop bottles and dance on couches. Yeah, for 2 hours.
Right.
$1,500, that's not that bad. And I was just starting off. And I said, you know what? If you're paying me $1,500, what are you making? So that's when my savviness and hustle kicked in. I said, you know what? It got to be some money in this for this promoter wanted to pay me $1,500. So I said, let me start doing my research. And I became the promoter. I became the host. I became the investor. The money that I was making, the lack of money that I was making in urban modeling, I said, I'm going to try to take this 3 months of fame of me being on the cover of this magazine and make it work for me and monetize it the best way that I can. So that's what I did. And that's how I pretty much started in this industry outside of being just a cute face. That's when the hustle in me kicked in. And I said, okay, I have to figure out how to make this work for me money-wise.
Okay. And so after you, went through that phase, then, your hustle phase, you started to get the majority of hosting gigs. And I see that you also landed a role on Sirius. Not a role, but you're,
co-hosting.
A co-host job there.
Right, which was a great experience. I did that for 5 years. And it pretty much one of those things that fell in my lap. I never sought out to even be in radio. I knew I always wanted to do television. Hence, Jazzie Belle TV. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. That's what I knew. That's what I knew for damn sure I wanted to do. However, some of the people that I looked up to that were doing television and media were like, the Frees of the world, the Ananda Lewis, the Lalas, the Terrence Jays. All of them, I thought, had a great career in media that transitioned into acting. So that was where my mind was set on. My end game, and it still is to act in television and in film. But I've always had a big personality. I've always been bubbly. I've always been more conversational. And I've always been that girl in my crew that talk shit. You know what I mean? And I was just always a talker. Okay, this is summing up as that. So I always admired, like I said, the Lalas and the Frees of the world. So I knew I wanted to do that first and transition, like I said, into TV and film. So when the opportunity came about for me to co-host, I took it. It was one of those things where I said, I'm going to try to be this media personality. And at the time, I was friends with one of the personalities up there, and I said, can I just bring my camera up there and capitalize on your guests? When you're done interviewing them on the radio, can I just interview them in the hallway? Okay. And a lot of people don't know that. So I went to school. I learned how to work the camera. Shout out to the cameraman. Camera girl. Shout out to the camera girl. I learned how to work the camera. I learned how to edit. I learned like Final Cut Pro. I love all that stuff. And got my stuff. Say that again?
All the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff. That's very
tools.
Exactly. That a lot of people that want to be in front of the camera don't usually do. They don't usually try to obtain that much knowledge behind the scenes when really all you want to do is be in the front. But I said, fuck that. I want to be well-rounded, well-versed, and I want to be able to not be a one-woman show, but if someone was to flake on me, like a cameraman, I know how to get back there and do what I got to do, work the camera, hit record, run my ass in front of the camera and do my 1-2 thing. And I literally did that for 2 years in the hallway at Sirius XM. And a lot of people don't know that. They just thought I just popped up on the mic and was talking shit for 5 years on the radio. But no, again, I asked my friend at the time, I said, I really want to do this. You have this platform. All I ask is that I bring my camera and I ask your guests if I can interview them. And I remember very well, he told me, he said, okay, you can come up here and do this, but I'm not going to force them to talk to you. You have to get the interviews on your own. And that's exactly what I did. And some people will say no. Not too many. Most of them will say yeah. And I was a one-woman show. I came there with the equipment. I set up shop. I would, give the artist the mic and say, hold this real quick, run behind the camera, hit record, run back up, grab the mic from him and say, hey, what's going on? It's your girl, Jazzie Belle. You watching Jazzie Belle TV? And I did that for 2 years in the hallway at Sirius XM. And then when the opportunity came about for me to co-host, it was just one of those things. I was like, do you want it? Yes or no? And I was like, yeah. And I sucked for like the first year. I was trash. I didn't know anything about radio etiquette. I was still very much, and still was grateful for the opportunity.
So, well, look where you are now, because I, looking at some of your work, you've sat in front of Wendy Williams, Anthony Anderson, Joe Budden, like some of the high-rated people. Like, how was that experience?
It was, I wouldn't even know how to sum it up in one word, so I'm not necessarily going to try, because I was going to say validating, because like I said, when I first started to really just do radio and to use a platform like that was so big, it was trial and error for me. I was so green at it, but the way I was received from the people, they loved me. And I was shocked by that. So to them, it was like, you're natural. You got this. You talk over people. you do that, you need to check that. You're a little pitchy, work on that. Like, so I would take the constructive criticism. I would take, again, lessons because I'm very big on wanting to learn and better myself. So I was open to criticism and I was open to learning more, going to school and taking these classes and, media etiquette and all that great stuff. So why I say it was validating to work with these people was because I actually put in the work. I didn't take this shit for granted. I didn't. And I feel like a lot of people that was probably given the opportunity would have just taken it as, I'm here and whatever. But I knew this was something that I really wanted to do, and I knew it wasn't a joke. So I took it seriously. So when I did get the opportunity to sit in front of a Wendy Williams or an Anthony Anderson, it was validating because these people knew who I was at that time because of the work that I put in for 5 years prior to speaking with them.
Wow. And she also, Wendy Williams, she also invited you on her show.
Right. Wasn't that big, girl?
Oh what was going through your mind when you got that call and that opportunity?
I wanted to shit my pants out. Oh my God. I was, okay. When you're in any industry, but especially in this industry, there's ups and downs. It's a fucking roller coaster. So for, 1 minute you're booked, busy and blessed, and the next minute you're not and you're stressed, And I remember getting that call and I was in that stressful moment, but just stressful because just being like over analytical and just overthinking and just overcritical of yourself and just thinking, okay, I'm not doing enough. And, outside looking in, people could be thinking you're doing a lot, but I wasn't I just wasn't there. I wasn't fulfilled at that moment. And I remember wrecking my brain to the point of fucking getting a migraine and saying, let me just rest my head. And I remember just telling myself, take a nap, take a beat, like calm down. And voila magic, I get a call from the people at the Wendy Williams show saying, hey, this is such and such. We want to know, do you want to do Inside Scoop? And I just remember like looking up at God and was like, that was you. That ain't nobody else but you, because you knew, and I knew at that moment, it wasn't about me giving up. I just, you have these doubts and you hit these roadblocks and you just oftentimes don't feel secure in yourself and your talent. You just, sometimes you just don't believe anymore and you want to give up. And I remember feeling that way at that moment. And it took for me to say, tell myself, you tripping, just go to sleep. And I felt like that was a test right there. I was being tested because I could have easily went the alternative route and said, okay, I'm done. This is too much, child. Let me just go ahead and focus on having some babies. You know what I mean? Right. Let me just focus on, not to say you can't do what you do and have kids, but I mean, that's where I was at mentally. And to get that call, I really felt like that was God saying, good job. Like, good job. Because you decided to still fight and you told yourself, take a nap instead of saying you quit. And you could have done that. So, yeah, I got the call and I said, hell yeah. And the rest is history. The rest is history. And it was, it was one of those things that I tell people I thought I should have gotten a job or I thought I was the one, that should have been in that position, good enough, whatever it was. These opportunities, sometimes you get overlooked. And that has happened to me a few times. But the first time this ever happened to me, I remember being really sad about it. And not too long after that, getting a call from the same company or organization or whatever, and asking me to do something else that was bigger and fucking better. And I just remember thinking I would never cry over spilled milk again, or I would never cry over a situation that just wasn't meant for me. And people say this, and it sounds very cliche, but it's really real. What's for you is for you. What's meant for you is meant for you. And I truly believe that, because when that happened to me the first time, when I felt like I was overlooked and that was for me, and I couldn't believe I didn't get it, and I thought it was the end of the world, and for that same company to call me and say, we want you to do this, and it was 10 times better, I've tried to condition my brain every time I hit a roadblock. You tripping, calm down, take a beat, because something else is better for you. Trust and believe. Bet on yourself, trust and believe. And that's what that moment was for me. Because I thought that I was supposed to get another situation with them, and I didn't get it. And for them to call me about this, that was 10 times better. It was amazing.
Wow. Well, that's definitely amazing. Now, Women in Hip Hop podcast. Let's get into that. How long have you had that podcast?
It's 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 years now. Let's see, I started it in 2016. And it's been rocking and rolling ever since. It was just one of those things where I try to tell people my motto in life is create, don't wait. Again, because when you do hit these roadblocks, when you feel like you're not getting the job, oftentimes you quit. And we all get faced with those type of insecurities. Every time I feel like I'm faced with that, I remember create, don't wait, create your dream job. This company might have overlooked you, but nowadays in this landscape that we're in right now pertaining to media, you don't have to necessarily wait for shit. You don't need to wait for nobody. You got Instagram, 60-second clips. You could do a whole freaking series right there at the palm of your hand on your own page on social media. Same thing with Facebook. Same thing with all of these digital apps. Nowadays, people are getting booked and hired based off of the work that they put in through their own platform. And I realized that early on, and that's how I was able to get the jobs at the Sirius XM, or get correspondent jobs at BET, was because of the work that I put in, off the things I created. So, it started off with JazzieBelle TV, creating that, and then me saying, hell, let me try, the Sirius XM radio. I continue on blogging on JazzieBelleTV.com. And now here I am after leaving Shade 45, because I felt like there was a void in the female presence in hip hop. And that's what made me start Women in Hip Hop podcast, because I said, I'm not going to wait for someone to create something like this. I could do this shit myself, blow it up, get it popping, get recognized for it. And that's exactly what happened. It has been 2 years and I'm still running. And that's why I'm here in the A.
Okay. Who has been the most memorable guest on your show so far?
Come on now, you ain't even got to ask that. Wendy was definitely, I mean, it's a given. I mean, listen, I'm a young black girl in media. Ain't no way in hell you did not grow up listening to the Oprahs of the world, the Wendys of the world, hell, even the Barbara Walters of the world, the Diane Sores. Like, those are the women that I've looked up to. I've always said I wanted to be the Barbara Walters of hip hop. And, but to have a person so prestigious as a Wendy on my show, I was grateful and thankful that she even agreed to do it. I think it was just a testament to my work ethic for me to have her on the show. And it's like, wow, I must deserve this. I must be doing something right. But it was most memorable because obviously it's her, and to see that I was able to interview the interviewer, that was like, that in itself is like, what the hell? Like, I'm interviewing the interviewer. So I'm feeling as if I could have crumbled, but I didn't feel pressured. I don't know, because
Were you nervous?
Of course, I'm always nervous. I could be nervous here talking to you, but you would never know. I have a way of camouflaging my nerves. But I was more anxious. I always tell people this. I'm more so have anxiety than nerves because I just want to do it, get it done, and go on to the next. And so it was memorable, obviously, because it was her, and because I'm like, is she critiquing me? Because she knows how to do this shit. She's a pro.
Right.
I wanted to, how does she feel? And like I said earlier, I've always sought out to be like the Barbara Walters of hip hop or the dinosaurs. And when people usually back in the day would go on those shows, it will always be because of damage control, right? You would have what's my girl name? Britney Spears, after going through the whole meltdown of shaving her head and beating the car with the umbrella, and then she get her ass on dinosaur Barbara Walters and cry because it humanizes them, because people see celebrities and it's like they think they know who they are, or they think they're just crazy because of what you see on television. So you go on these people's shows again to be humanized, to be recognized as just a human. Like, you're a normal person. I feel like her just as you do. So by me saying I wanted to be the hip hop Barbara Walters, my whole MO was I want to get my guests to cry. Because they all did it. You know what I mean? Like, you see, after the whole crack is back with Whitney, like, you can't sit in front of Dinosaur and not get teary eyed. Right. Same fucking Barbara Walters. I don't know what it is about them, but I studied them and I feel like I understand what it is. And for me, I just feel as if you're yourself, I mean, truly your authentic self, and if you really are a fan of this shit, and if you sincerely care about the person in front of you. See, the thing with me, I really am a fan of these people. So when I ask questions from a fan's perspective. I want to know the things that a true fan out there listening and watching want to know. So I'm going to ask you the questions that you've never been asked before. I'm going to ask you the questions that's going to be difficult maybe for you to answer. And I'm going to ask you the questions that's going to, touch you internally, like emotionally, because no one gives a fuck about that. They just want to hear you say some ratchet, get a nice one-liner out of you that's clickbait-ish. Oh shit, crack is whack. Yo, run with it. That's the title. Front news, headlines. It's like, yeah, but can it be something else? Something of some substance? Does everything have to be so gossipy and like that? Of course, I want to sip on some tea every now and again, but how about some milk? How about some water? Yeah. Can we fuck with some H2O? Let's switch it up. So I feel like I have that ability to be more of a girl that you can resonate with, that feels like a home girl, someone that you feel like is a real person and want you to be relatable. And I want you to be relatable. So I'm talking to you because I really actually give a fuck. So to see her cry, if you never watched it, go check it out. womanhiphop.com. She cries at the end of it. And, I'll never forget what she told me at the end of the interview. She was very impressed. I would say that. And she just gave me a huge compliment. Her and her husband. They were very
Is that the picture where you guys were like,
holding hands, right? Right. And you can see like the tears in her eyes there, And I just remember at that moment, again, just feeling validated, like this is what I wanted. And to get the queen of all media to cry, it was like, and it wasn't because she's a Cancer, it was because she felt
so your stance.
Right. And man, so that was definitely the most memorable for sure.
Okay. Now your new show, your own personal show. When did you get that started?
Well, it was after like the Wendy situation. Of course, all eyes are on you after that, after reaching that daytime national exposure. I got awarded at the Black Women in Media Awards. And, that came right after that. And there was an opportunity for me to be a part of a show on Radio 103.9 New York. And it was like, hey, you want to have your own situation up here? We got a couple of hours. We can share an hour with you. What do you want to do? And it's funny, and this is what I tell people, and this is what my podcast is all about, and I really feel like this is what my life is all about, is to inspire. So I'm heavy on vision boards. Okay. So Wendy Williams was on my vision board for 2 years before I met her. And she did my podcast, and of course I did her show. She was on my vision board for 2 years. You know, thoughts are things, right. You know, and what you believe, you shall achieve. Like, it's real. And Radio 103.9 New York was also on my vision board when it started. And I want to say it started 4 years prior to my inception on that show. Mm-hmm. So I say that to say, believe in vision boards, believe that thoughts are things, read books, get to know Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, get to know so many of these self-help books or these motivational books, because it really will help train your brain into manifesting your destiny, or learning how to manifest your destiny. I feel like those things are important because we weren't taught that when we were young. People really do say Black people don't read, or you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. And I believe that was real for centuries, for sure. But I want to break that cycle, and I want to change the narrative. And I'm hoping that anybody that's listening to this or watching this will definitely, do their research. And because Michael Jordan isn't Michael Jordan without a Phil Jackson coaching. We all need a coach. And I don't have family and all that with me in New York. All my family is in the D. Shout out to Detroit 313. So I find myself by myself a lot. And I don't really bring a lot of people in because I like to protect my energy. So what I do find a lot of comfort in is books like that, or people that believe in thoughts are things, and people that believe in manifestation, people that believe in things like vision boards. I find that those have been very helpful for me. So I'm hoping that someone out there can, learn what it is that I'm feeling, or that had worked for me, and hopefully it could work for them. But yeah, that's what happened. It was on my vision board. Wow. And Radio 103.9 called me, and it's new. It hasn't even been 6 months. It's probably been 6 months now. And it's the Weekend Buzz with Jazzie Belle. The Weekend Buzz with Jazzie Belle, Saturdays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And my segment comes on 6 p.m. The Weekend Buzz with Jazzie Belle. Okay. It's a great, great situation. That's where I, dish on the latest and greatest in entertainment news and celebrity gossip. Of course, we're going to talk about some things with some substance. Like I said, we can sip on some tea, but holler at some H2O as well. Quench your thirst. So yeah, it's a very good experience to be able to be back on the airwaves and speaking to all of New York and all of Tri-State. It's humbling and great experience. Can we listen to it online? You can. Okay. Yeah. You can listen to it on Radio 103.9 New York. No, Radio 103.9 NY.com. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You'll listen to it. Yeah, tune in. Okay. And I think we're going to be working on, because people always I missed the show. Damn it, where can I hear it? Is it online? Is it save show? And it's nope, you missed it. Sorry. Or it's on my live. Go check it out. It's up there for 24 hours. But we're going to turn it into a podcast. So we're working on that. Okay. So you'll be able to catch it. Okay. What's next for Jazzie Belle? Ooh, I don't know. Do I have to stay tuned? Okay. It's definitely some things I got in the works. More of just me, I would say, doing what comes natural for me and doing what I feel speaks to my heart. Because who the hell would think of doing a show called Women in Hip Hop? Some people, when I told people I was going to do that, they were like, it's just so I don't know, I don't even know what fucking word they use.
I like that concept though. That's dope.
Right, but people say, but it's just so like, I don't know, like you're stuck in one genre. And I'm like, yeah, but hip hop is pop culture because hip hop is the biggest genre of music right now.
More than just women in hip hop though.
And that's the biggest misconception about the show. That's what I tell people. And you don't have to just be a woman to be on the show. Like you said, I've had Joe Budden on the show. The show is just to inspire. I am here to inspire. I just use hip hop as a path to inspire you because I love hip hop. I grew up listening to hip hop. The only reason why I'm even doing something like a woman in hip hop is because I fucking wanted to be a rapper myself at one point. A lot of people don't know that. Your girl had bars. I didn't make it because I stopped believing. But I'd be damned if I get out of the culture in its entirety. No, I stayed and I use hip hop, you know, as a platform to still showcase my talent. And I still love the female's presence in the culture. So I just did what came natural. But I mean, and that's the thing. So if you have an idea out there, and it could seem crazy to someone, it could seem very, I don't know, small-minded. Some people would think that was small. Like, why would you just do hip-hop? You could do woman empowered, and you could tap into everything. And I even thought about changing it after the first year. But no, that's not what got me Wendy Williams. That's not what got me on daytime television, darling. When you see me on Wendy, you see my little logo that says Woman in Hip Hop Podcast. You didn't see Page 6 journalists. You didn't see Sirius XM's entertainment journalists. Or you didn't just see me with another company. You saw me build my own brand, and my own brand got me there. And what really got me there was my love for it. I believed in that shit. Okay? What Frank Lucas say? I stand by this shit. This blue magic right here, this is real. So you have to, whatever it is, don't go by what somebody else is telling you what makes sense for them. That's them. You really have to do what makes sense for you. And Woman in Hip Hop Podcast just made fucking sense to me. It really just did, and it still does. Right. And yes, I have doubts, but yes, I have to keep reminding myself, you're doing this because you know this shit through and through. You know hip hop, and you know women in hip hop, and you love it. So I guess, you know, for me, that's what got me here. So I feel like regardless of what I do, it will always be in relation to hip hop in some form or fashion. But again, I'm here to inspire. So whatever I feel here internally in my heart is what going to determine what I do in the future.
Gotcha. Well, much success to you, definitely.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing. I see the ambition. I mean, definitely keep doing your thing. I'm even learning from you.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let us know how we can follow you on social media.
Okay. My social media handle is at JazzieBelle TV. That's JazzieBelle TV. No Y, it's IE with Jazzy. I hate when y'all put a Y. But I understand, but no, it's with IE. And Belle, it has an E at the end. You know, Spanish version. A lot of people leave out the E. Hell, sometimes I leave out the E when I tell people, so I get the mistake. But JazzieBelle TV. And that's on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And also JazzieBelleTV.com. It's my website. Everything is on there. Hip Hop Weekly, darling. I had to do it. It only makes sense.